The stealth ship vanished without light or flare, slipping from the enemy fleet like a shadow sinking into deeper darkness. To the admiralty of the Carex Combine, this disappearance was perfection itself, the final proof that their technology had surpassed all rivals. Their ship did not merely hide from sight, it erased its presence from every known spectrum, bending gravity, swallowing heat, and cancelling motion so completely that space itself seemed to forget it was there. Across the void, the human listening post drifted quietly between cold stars, an unremarkable station of alloy and antennae. The Carex commanders dismissed it as primitive debris, a relic of a species that still trusted metal hulls and visible engines. They believed the humans blind, deaf, and clumsy compared to the elegance of true stealth. When the Carex stealth cruiser crossed the edge of the system, its crew relaxed their claws and fronds, confident that no alarm would sound. The ship slid between orbits past gas giants and icy moons, its hull wrapped in a lattice of silence. No radar pinged, no sensor flickered, no particle trail remained. Inside the human station, a different kind of watch was underway. There were no glowing, tactical displays screaming of intrusions, no heroic music swelling in the background. Instead, there was a quiet room filled with old screens, mugs of cooling coffee, and engineers who trusted patterns more than spectacle. Lieutenant Mara Ionescu stared at a graph that looked like noise to anyone else. It was a simple vibration readout, measuring the subtlest tremors in the vacuum fluctuations around the station. Humans had learned long ago that space was never truly still. Gravitational waves from distant stars, quantum jitters, and the faint hum of cosmic background all formed a constant restless sea. Most species filtered this noise out, searching only for strong, obvious signals. Humans had chosen a different path. They listened to the noise itself. Mara leaned closer as a thin ripple passed across the display, almost nothing, barely above baseline. It did not look like a ship signature or an engine wake or a weapon charge. It looked like a wrongness, a tiny disagreement between what the universe expected and what it received. She tagged the anomaly and called for her team. Around her, engineers gathered not with excitement, but with careful focus. They overlaid historical data, compared background patterns, and adjusted sensitivity until the ripples stood naked against the void. The vibration repeated not in pulses, but in rhythm, like the slow breath of something trying not to be heard. The amplitude was absurdly small, 5 parts in 1,500 of what their sensors normally ignored. Yet it persisted, refusing to vanish into randomness. Captain Reyes entered the room and studied the display in silence. He had fought pirates, smugglers, and machines, but this was different. This was the kind of threat that did not announce itself. They tracked the vibration across space not by chasing it, but by predicting where it must be. If a mass moved invisibly, it still displaced probability, it still nudged the fabric of reality. Humans had built equations not to see ships, but to feel their absence. The Carex cruiser continued its silent advance, unaware that every micro-adjustment of its stealth field created a whisper. To them, the void remained blind and obedient. Their commander planned the strike in perfect secrecy, already imagining the terror of the first human colonies. As the stealth ship passed near a frozen moon, the vibration sharpened. Tidal forces interacted with the field, causing a harmonic echo. On the human screens, the anomaly blossomed into a clear, unmistakable track. Mara smiled not in triumph, but in confirmation. She had suspected this for years, that perfect stealth was impossible. You could hide light and sound, but not consequence. The humans did not light up their weapons or broadcast challenges. Instead, they released a buoy, a simple device with no engines and no emissions. It drifted gently into the path of the unseen ship. When the buoy intersected the stealth field, it shattered silently. To the Carrack's crew, it was nothing, a speck of debris erased without impact. To the humans, it was a thunderclap of data. The vibration spiked, rippling outward like a struck bell. Algorithms sang as certainty replaced hypothesis. They had the ship, its size, its speed, and its intent. Captain Reyes ordered a fleet-wide update, not an alert but a lesson. Every human vessel in range adjusted its sensors to the same narrow band. The void filled with invisible threads of awareness. The Carrack's commander finally sensed something wrong, not through alarms, but through instinct. The universe felt less quiet than it should have. His ship was still unseen, yet the silence felt crowded. Then the humans acted not with brute force, but with resonance. They tuned their engines, shields, and even life support to the vibration frequency of the stealth field. Space itself began to hum in sympathy. The stealth lattice strained, forced to cancel not emptiness, but a chorus. Heat leaked, light bent, and for the first time the Carrack's ship cast a shadow. It flickered into partial existence, like a ghost caught between worlds. Human weapons locked not by sight, but by certainty. The first shot was not lethal, it was precise, a resonance pulse that unraveled the stealth field. The ship appeared fully exposed, shocked, and suddenly very visible. Panic erupted aboard the Carrack's cruiser as systems failed one after another. Their greatest defense had become their greatest vulnerability. The very field meant to erase them amplified every hostile frequency. Surrounded by human ships that had seemed absent moments before the Carrack's commander understood his mistake. He had assumed superiority meant invisibility. He had never considered that someone might listen instead of look. The engagement was brief, not because humans were merciful, but because it was unnecessary to prolong it. The cruiser was disabled, captured, and studied. No triumphant broadcast followed, only quiet reports and refined equations. In the aftermath, the galaxy reeled. Stealth doctrines collapsed overnight as species realized hiding was not enough. Rumors spread that humans could hear thoughts in vacuum and feel lies in gravity. Mara returned to her station, upgraded but unchanged. She sipped fresh coffee and watched the noise of the universe roll on. Somewhere out there new ripples would form, and humans would listen. Because when the stealth ship vanished, humans did not ask where it went. They asked what the universe felt when it passed. And in that question, they found everything. The capture of the Carrack's stealth cruiser did not end the story, it began a quieter, more dangerous chapter. Across the spiral arms, admiralties replayed the footage again and again, searching for the moment where perfection failed. They did not find explosions or obvious errors, only a gradual realization that the universe itself had betrayed the hidden ship. Human analysts never celebrated openly, instead they refined models and expanded listening arrays. They understood that once a secret was revealed, it would provoke imitation and escalation. If others learned to mask vibration, humans would need to hear even deeper truths. At the edge of known space, a coalition of non-human powers gathered in uneasy secrecy. Species that once rivaled each other now shared fear of a common weakness. They spoke of humans as if they were predators that hunted without eyes. The coalition commissioned a new project, not merely stealth, but negation. A ship that would not move through space, but persuade space to move around it. If vibration was the flaw, then reality itself would be rewritten. Months later, the human listening network registered something unprecedented. Not a ripple, not a hum, but a hold. A region where expected cosmic noise simply ceased. Lieutenant Mara Ionescu felt her stomach tighten as the data resolved. Silence was never natural, complete absence was louder than chaos. Whatever was out, they had learned the wrong lesson. Captain Reyes convened a council of engineers, physicists, and tacticians. They stared at the blank patch on the map like sailors studying a dead sea. If vibration tracking failed, then intuition would have to evolve. Humans returned to first principles, asking why noise existed at all. The universe was a conversation between forces exchanging information endlessly. To erase noise meant refusing to participate in reality. Mara proposed a risky hypothesis. If the enemy ship created a null, then it must exert constant effort to maintain it. Effort implied tension, and tension implied instability. They designed sensors not to detect movement, but to detect resistance. Tiny probes measured how easily space responded to gentle theoretical pushes. Where space pushed back too hard, something was holding it. The null region drifted slowly toward a human trade corridor. The coalition believed invisibility equaled invincibility. They planned a demonstration strike meant to shatter human confidence. As civilian ships passed unknowingly, nearby human probes brushed the edge of the null. Data flowed in streams of impossible stiffness. Space there felt tight, clenched like a fist. Mara traced the boundary and smiled grimly. "You cannot erase the universe," she whispered. "You can only argue with it. And arguments leave fingerprints." Human fleets did not converge, instead they dispersed. Each ship became a question mark, probing from different angles. The null field wavered, forced to respond to contradictory pressures. Inside the coalition stealth vessel, alarms finally sounded. Not from detection, but from overheating processors and failing field harmonics. Their reality rewriting engine was exhausting itself. The commander ordered a push forward, believing aggression would mask weakness. The ship lunged ahead, creating turbulence in the null. That turbulence was all humans needed. Rather than firing weapons, humans amplified cosmic background noise artificially. They seeded the area with random fluctuations, flooding the null with information. The stealth field struggled, choking on data it was designed to erase. The blank region shimmered, then cracked. Noise rushed back like air into a vacuum. The ship did not appear, but its outline became undeniable. Human weapons remained silent for a long breath. They watched the field fail layer by layer, recording everything. Knowledge mattered more than victory. When they finally acted, it was with restraint. A precision strike collapsed the null engine without harming the hull. The ship re-entered reality, violently disoriented and helpless. The coalition commander realized too late that humans were not chasing ships. They were studying mistakes. Each escalation taught humans how to listen better. The captured vessel joined the first in orbit around a quiet research world. No flags were raised, no parades held. Only more questions were written on whiteboards. News spread anyway, as it always did. Stories mutated into myths, claiming humans could hear souls drift through space. Others said human ships sang to the stars, and the stars answered. Mara ignored the rumors, focused on her work. She expanded the listening doctrine beyond military use. If vibration revealed ships, it might also reveal disasters before they happened. Soon humans were predicting stellar flares, quakes, and even subspace tears days in advance. Civilizations began to rely on human warnings despite lingering fear. Trust grew not from power, but from reliability. Captain Reyes addressed the fleet with quiet pride. "We do not dominate the universe," he said. "We participate more honestly in it. That honesty is our shield." Beyond known charts, new species watched and learned. Some abandoned stealth, entirely choosing transparency and dialogue. Others tried harder, building stranger silence. Humans prepared for both. They refined their art of listening, until even absence told a story. Because silence was never empty, it was only waiting to be understood. And somewhere, far beyond the edge of the maps, another ripple formed, tiny, uncertain, and full of intent. On a human screen, a line trembled and held.